Good evening, Soft Tippers. Welcome to the Soft Tip Central Network. Tonight I'm going to be doing a shot triple threat review. It's the first time I've done anything like this where I'm reviewing and comparing three separate products in one review. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be comparing two sets of shot barrels, which are the Kyle Anderson Battler and the OG, and we're going to be reviewing the tactical darts case as well. So we're going to go through our usual bits and pieces, but also whilst we're doing that, we're going to be comparing the two barrels to each other. The reason for this is I think that they do need to be compared next to each other, because basically the Battler is the lower sort of version of the OG. So the OG is a 90% tungsten barrel, the Battler is an 80% tungsten barrel, and there are various differences between the two darts that lead to the different prices between the two. So we're going to go through that, we'll do our usual weights and measures, but first of all let's go and check some packaging now. Okay, so let's take a look at the packaging for both sets of darts. So as you can see, the top is the 90% 18 gram weight, match weight, with the Teo carbon shafts and the colour titanium coating. They are the original Kyle Anderson OGs, with the picture of Kyle at the top there, and his original design running right the way through the box packaging. These are actually outlined and accented with gold on the logo and around the actual window. The window here that goes the full length of the dart shows the dart in its entirety, and then you've got your two triangular windows that show the darts either side of that central one. Moving down to this one here, which is the Battler. This again got 18 grams. It's an 80% tungsten dart. It comes with the Eagle Claw shafts and it's got 100 micron flights. Again, we have the dots that surround everything that Kyle does. And it's a different design for each one of the barrels in the range, and those coincide with the flights on both sets. Again, you've got a picture of Kyle at the top here, the original Kyle Anderson Battler. These are an 18 gram 80% tungsten dart. Because they are an 80% tungsten dart, they will not be a match weighted dart, but we are going to test the weight of them to see how close they are to each other. Right, let's open them up and have a little look on the inside. Okay, look at the inside of the packaging here, and as you can see, and as you usually expect from shot darts, there is absolutely no difference between the two. They're both packaged identically with the same housings for each of the darts. Obviously we have our very dense foam packaging that surrounds the darts on their merry trips all the way from New Zealand. We've also got the central section here which holds the darts on both, and then you've got your two Teo carbon stems at the top here, and you've got your two Eagle Claw stems at the bottom one here. The Battler, again, the first thing you notice between the difference between the two is colour. The barrels on the OGs are a lot more colourful, and I'll get into detail regarding that later. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take them away and I'm going to look at them individually, and we're going to see what the differences are between the two. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at is going to be the OG. Now these are the 90% tungsten barrel. These are match weighted by shots, and they obviously do put a shot card in the back of it, or they're match weighted. And these are supposed to come out at 0.05 of a gram to 18.5 grams. So let's pop the first one on. And that's coming out at 18.55. The second one, I'm out at 18.55 again, and the third one 18.56. so they are within 0.05 of a gram of each other, just that they're 1 gram over the 18.5 stated on the card. I don't think that makes a great deal of difference. When you've got a set of darts that are match weighted to within 0.1 of a gram, you're not going to notice a great deal of difference in that. So let's have a quick look at the width and length of the dart. So remember, this is the Battler and the OG, and we will be doing the same with the Battler as well. So let's test your width, which is at the end of this the middle of the torpedo section at the front here. Now these are a front weighted dart right behind the nose. So the widest point there is 7.1. Get that into focus. 7.1 millimeters there, and the length of the barrel is 45.8 millimeters in length. Okay, let's go and do the same now with the battlers. Time to do the same now for the battlers. Now these are an 80% tungsten barrel, therefore they aren't match weighted. So let's pop these on the scale and see how close they come. So that is a 16.50. And this again is a 16.51. And this one here is a 16.52. They are within 0.02 of a gram, and they are a lot closer to the sort of matched weight that you would expect from an 18-gram dart. If I'm honest, looking at the battlers, I think maybe that they may be a 20-gram dart that we've received in an 18-gram packaging, because the barrel itself is well over 18 grams. And obviously looking at that, I think we may have a 20-gram barrel in the OGs as opposed to a 18-gram. So that's duly noted, and we'll see how that affects the throwing when we get to the board. Having that 2-gram difference may be considerably different on how each of the darts flies. Right, let's do the width and the length of this battler. Again, the widest part of the barrel there. And again, exactly the same at 7.1. And this is a 45 or 44.9, yeah, 45 millimeter barrel there. So let me just get that in focus for you. There we go. So 45 millimeters on the length of this barrel here. Right, let's get these set up and we'll have an in-depth look at both of them. Okay, so let's have a little close-up at the OG, and we're going to see now and compare between the two darts and see how they are different from each other. So as we can see with the OG here at the front section just here, we have this torpedo shape that has a sort of very, very fine ring that opens up into a very, very wide section here. What that does, it gives you a smooth release, and then that comes back into this deeper cut and variable ring section that runs right the way down the slimmer part of the torpedo to the parallel back bit here. Now the parallel rear is actually covered in what's called Trax grip. Now that Trax grip is an axial cut that runs down here in the shape of an arrow. Very, very sort of, well, it's very, very common to see a lot of those sort of arrows and that sort of grip style and those sort of motifs with Carl Anderson and his darts. Obviously we've got the dots here which sort of tie in very well with him as well, and then it's sort of ring gripped all the way up the dart here, which takes us up to the cinder grip at the top here, where it is etched the original Kyle Anderson across the top there, and then obviously we've got the shot logo just on the rear there. So that is the OG version. I'm going to slide this to one side now, and I'm going to bring in the battler. And there he is. And here is the battler. Okay. So notable difference straight away is the colour. There's no coloured titanium coating on the barrel. It is a very, very plain silver tungsten, as you can see, running the same torpedo, same ring grip. And then it goes into this deeper ring here and the small variable ring grip right the way down. Now this is covered in cinder grip, and this is a grip style that's been patented by Schott, and it is their cinder grip. Now, first time I come across this with this dart, it's got a very velvety feel to it. So it feels very velvety, like a sort of a nice sort of velvet crush effect when you feel it on your hands. It's got sort of similarities to that. The difference is that the actual Trax groove isn't cut out of the actual dart, so the ring grips are the same all the way down, and they don't have that axial cut and the arrow cut into the actual dart. They just cinder grip the areas around it. So what I thought that would do would lessen the grip, but as you'll find out in a moment, when your hands get warm, this cinder grip really, really comes into its own. It is absolutely awesome. If I'm honest, I wish they'd put it further down, but I'll talk to you more about that later on. As we roll the dart again, as we can see at the top section here, we have the original Carl Anderson and the Shot Darts logo on the top there. So all that's left for me to do now is go and have a few throws at the board with both sets of darts. I'll tell you which ones I'm using at the time and we'll see how we get on. Okay, so let's have a little throw at the ground board. First off, we're going to be throwing the 18-gram battlers. They're the 80% tungsten version without the titanium coating in the colour coating. They only have the eagle shaft stems and they have the normal 100 micron flights. Fooled you all the 18s then, didn't I? That cinder grip's awesome. You're getting placement, it's slowly but surely adjusting. What I would have preferred is if they'd have run that cinder grip right the way down to the top of the bulb of the torpedo there. That would have helped massively with the placement point on the dart. But yeah, that cinder grip is very, very velvety feel when you start to run your hand across it. Well, my hands are slowly warming up now and it just becomes more and more grippy. They feel nice in the hand. You don't notice a difference in the flight with the 80% tungsten. I don't think it makes a great deal of difference, if I'm honest. And both sets of barrels come with a lifetime barrel guarantee, which is handy to know. I like these. I like the shape of them. My only criticism is they should have extended that cinder grip to cover that bottom section of the ring grip. Wow, that was terrible. I have 3 more and then I'm going to switch. Okay, that's the battlers. Now let's switch to the OGs. Okay, so this is the OGs now. These are the 90% tungsten. I would say they're 20 grams, these ones. There is a mix up on the packaging, I think. The shafts are the Teo carbons and they have the Carl Anderson signature flights in them. They're called tracks because of the tracks that he's making as a player and the path that he's going to tread. If you do look at the flights, it's got little footprints on them, which is really cool. So let's see how these differ from the battler. Much less grip. That's the first thing I'll say straight away. Finding placement and grip point on these is actually quite difficult. I think the spacing out of the rings should have been ever so slightly more, from my personal preference. I'm not getting a lot on that tracks grip. I'm not finding any traction from the actual cut at all. That's if I change my hand placement slightly. Yeah, no, I'm still not getting it. For another little go. If I'm honest, I'm a battler fan as opposed to the OGs. I'm going to leave these to the big man, I think. There it is. Yeah, you have to move your hand ever so slightly back to catch that second set of ring grips above the V of the arrow. That's your placement point. My hands are warming up again, they're warm, and I've got nowhere near as much traction as I have with the battlers and that cinder grip. I'm actually really surprised that a cut in a dart isn't as grippy as that coating. I'll be really interested to see if that coating lasts as well. Whether that's included in your lifetime barrel guarantee. Right, I'll have 3 more of the OGs. And then I suppose I've got to try and find somewhere to put these darts. Right, that's those. So we're going to go and have a look and give it my little summary on both sets, the Battler and the OG. And then I'm going to find somewhere to put them. I mean, I've got 2 sets of darts and I've got nowhere to put them. Well, I didn't have until we got sent this, which is the tactical dart case from Shot. This is the blue version with the tribal patterning on it. Obviously comes in a recyclable cardboard box, which you can just pop into your recycling bin. But we're going to go away and we're going to have a little look at this now as well. And we're going to put these Carl Anderson darts somewhere safe. Okay, let's have a look at this tactical case. First of all, colour, love it. I love the blue. I think it's lovely. You've got a very, very hard external here with the foam outer. It's lined here in PVCU, right the way down here, down the spine, which is quite flexible, so I can't see that tearing or breaking away or flaking off at any point. The rear again is the same pattern, again extremely durable and tough. You have the Shot logo embedded on the zip fastens here, and let's open her up and see what we've got. Let me just unzip that here and pop that on the table there. So obviously you've got your Shot Darts logo up the top there as well. So let's flip this open and see what we've got. Okay, so inside the actual case I have an area to house my 2 sets of Carl Anderson darts. So the OGs will stick across the top here. Now they have a segmented section there just for you to rest your flights on. So they just sit there like that. And the flights just rest on the top there. And another one there. And they're staggered as well. That one just sits there. And then we can pop the Battlers in next door. Another one just there. One at the top here. And the last one sits just in there. Now the foam on these is actually quite firm. It does hold them quite steadfast. My only issue or my only thinking of concern may be that this foam will become weaker over time. Obviously only time will tell on that, but at the moment it is a very, very solid case. I'll just flip it straight over and flip it back. And my lovely Carl Anderson collection doesn't move anywhere. And then it brings me over to the left hand side here, which is all of these. You can see you've got 3 separate zips here. Now obviously my first thought when I saw the top one was like, oh, that's for my tips because it's only a small pocket. That one must be for my flights and bits down there, and that must be for like if I've got any money or anything in there that I need to use or keep when I'm going out for a night out with playing darts with my pals. So I was wrong, massively wrong. So the bottom pocket here is this depth here. So on this one here I've put some of my these are my Tribal Warrior Koas or Tribal Weapon Koa flights. Mateo carbon stems I've got in there as well. I've got my basically my Shot accessories are in the bottom, so my flights and stems go in that bottom pouch. I then opened this second one and found it goes right the way to the bottom again. So in those I've just popped me my premium lip points in there, ready for a night out on the old Darts Live boards. And then the top one again goes all the way down to the base, which gives me the chance to then pop my wallet, my keys, and a full plus size mobile phone. So I don't need to go out with anything other than my darts case. So that's it. My Friday night out at League Darts is completely sorted with this case, my darts, everything I need for a night out, all in one place. Absolutely love the case. I think as a price point, it's a very good value for money as well. I also really like the colour. I like the sheen on the actual blue colouring, And I just think the Shot logo looks awesome there, kind of like a dragon sitting in the middle there with its wandering eye, which I think the Shot Darts logo is supposed to resemble a dragon. I think that's the wings. But yeah, let's now I've tucked those two bad boys away safely. Let's go for a little review and a summary of the two darts I've just shown you. Okay guys, let's have a little summary. So today we reviewed 3 separate items, 2 sets of darts and 1 case. I thought this was the right thing to do, purely because the darts are comparable to each other, and the fact that I was reviewing 2 sets of darts gave me the opportunity to show off this case really well. Absolutely love the case. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I think the lines on it, I think that the way it's constructed is fantastic. It's really solid, really sturdy. The darts, I'll give my honest opinion on both of them. So obviously I've got the 2 here. First up is the OG, which is the 90% tungsten barrel. This is a 20 gram. It was advertised on the packaging as an 18, but this is the 20 gram version. It is available in an 18, so you can get them in both weights. If I'm honest, in my opinion, this isn't the better one of the 2. I prefer the Battler. I much prefer it purely because of the cinder grip that's on the dart. I think it gives you a lot more reference. I think it gives you a lot more of a positive grip. My only criticism would be that I would have extended it from this point here down to the end of the torpedo here. I would have given it that little bit of extra grip on there, and that would have been really useful in line with those ring grips. Back to the OG, didn't really notice much grip coming from the axial cut here. I don't think it really factored a great deal. I found if I slid my thumb back further, I usually throw the dart here. Usually have my placement point just on the rear of the torpedo grip there. I had to slide my finger back here to get any purchase from that Trax grip. There are placement points all the way down the darts though, which means that you can access a placement point all the way over. But for the way I throw, it just didn't suit me. Now these aren't designed for me, they're designed for Kyle Anderson. And he's probably gone through a heck of a lot of processes to get this absolutely spot on. To him, this is the perfect dart. To me, it's not something that I would go out and spend the extra £45 on when I can get this one here, which suits my throw a lot more. I find it a lot more responsive when I'm throwing the dart. I find the 18 gram weight is better for me in this shaped barrel. And it's costing me £45 less. I'm still getting my lifetime barrel guarantee. Yes, it's only 80% tungsten, but for myself personally, this is a better dart for me. If I was asked which one I would go out and buy myself, I'm going to be buying the Battler all day long, purely because I didn't get the positive feel from the OG that I was hoping to get, whereas this surprised me. This really smooth velvety feel to this cinder grip, yeah, it really surprised me at just how much additional purchase I managed to get on there, how sturdy my finger was on the grip, and I really enjoyed throwing it. So for me, it's going to be the Battler, which only comes out at this much, which is this many dollars and this many euros. When you compare that to the OG, which costs this and this many dollars and this many euros, I'm going to be buying the Battler all day long. It's, in my opinion, with the lifetime barrel guarantee for both, I'm gonna be going for the cheaper version every single time. Perhaps with a different dart, it may be a different scenario. For instance, the other 80% tungsten barrels that they do, the Desert Boomer, it's not shaped for me. It's not the right dart for me again. So this one, out of the 3 darts that we've reviewed of the Kyle Anderson range, my top tip is definitely the Battler. I think for the money that you're going to pay for this, you're getting an amazing dart, which has got a fantastic grip point on it. So thank you very much for tuning in. Do go and visit the Shot website. Go and see those guys over there. Have a look at their entire range of darts. They are beautiful. And don't forget, visit our site, visit our Facebook pages and Twitters for all your tournaments, all of the live streams and the interviews that we'll be doing in the future. Thank you for tuning in. We go again, and we'll speak soon. Take care.